When selecting an inverter for your system, you want to match the size of the inverter as closely as possible with the optimum inverter size that EasyPV tells you in the top right hand of this screen. Now, EasyPV will recommend you some inverters at the right kind of size, both string inverters and hybrid inverters, but you can also explore the full range of units that we offer categorized into their different types here on the left hand side, such as string inverters, optimized inverters, microinverters, hybrid inverters, and AC coupled chargers as well. If you click on a manufacturer, similar to the panel task, you'll be able to come in here and see all of the different inverters that we stock for that manufacturer. And you can also switch between both single phase and three-phase inverters for larger commercial installations as well. If you want to add battery storage to your system, you will of course need to either select a hybrid inverter or first select a string inverter and then click Add PV inverter or battery storage system at the bottom and then choose your AC coupled charging unit. Once you have selected either an AC charger or a hybrid inverter, at the bottom of the stringing page, EasyPV will show you all of the compatible batteries that can be added to this inverter. When you first select an inverter, it will bring you to this screen here where you can mock string your panels. Now you can see in this instance we have 12 that need to be allocated, and you can see the different combinations of which we can allocate these to the inputs here. The number of inputs available on the inverter will vary depending on its size, so you will need to make sure that you can allocate the total number of panels that you have on this design from the options that are available here in green. Now, EasyPV stores all of the electrical data about the inverter and the panels in the background, and so it can actually do the electrical checks for you at this point as well, which is why some of these options will be red, suggesting that it will throw some sort of electrical error with the equipment that we've selected. Now, if for any reason you can't allocate all of your panels to the inverter that you've selected, that might indicate that you haven't selected one at the right size, and you will just need to delete it and choose another one at the appropriate size for the system. In this case, we've got 12 panels to allocate. Now I could put all of those on one input. However, the darker green colors suggest a drop off in efficiency. And so it might make sense for this example to just split them straight down the middle and have two strings of 6 or one string of 6 on each input. So long as all of the text for each of these is green and you have a green tick in the top right of your screen, then you can move on, safe in the knowledge that the number of panels that you have on your system will work with the inverter that you've selected. Now you can see an X here is where it's asking you to add some batteries to the system, as I've now selected a hybrid inverter. Now you can actually force past this step if you're planning on installing those batteries at a later date. If not, you can scroll back down to the bottom and choose a number of batteries from the available options there. EasyPV will give you tips on the size of battery capacity that you've selected based on the system size. However, it will be your responsibility to determine how much battery capacity your customer will need based on their requirements and their budget. Moving forward, EasyPV will then take you through the rest of the supporting electrical components that will be required for the installation, starting with the DC isolators. Now you can see here that EasyPV has actually selected a DC isolator for you automatically. This is editable if you do have a preferred manufacturer, and as long as the ticks here are present for the current and the voltage, then you know again the electrical checks have been done. If you're designing larger three-phase systems using a large inverter, once you've allocated your strings, you might need to just make sure that there are no errors being thrown up in the DC Isolator Selection page. Make sure that you check the available options here to ensure that there are no errors with the current or voltage on this page, and if there are, and you can't find a DC isolator of the appropriate size, you might just need to go back to the inverter task, and you might just need to reduce the number of panels that you have allocated to each string by making use of any extra inputs that you haven't used. The next step will add DC cables to your kit list. And here you can edit the run length of these as well as their thickness. And the same will happen for the AC isolators and the AC cables as well. Moving forward, EasyPV will then select an appropriate meter for your system. Occasionally it will give you the option between a few. And then we can go to the extras page where anything that is required by MCS has already been added, such as the label sheets. And the other thing that's automatically added here is any supporting electrical components or any supporting kit that is required for the installation of the specific products that you've chosen already. In this instance, as we selected the Huawei hybrid inverter, it's actually gone ahead and automatically added the battery management system and the smart power sensor, which are both pieces of equipment that are necessary for this type of installation. So you can move forward from this point, safe in the knowledge that everything that you need for this installation will be added to your kit list. You'll also have the option then to add any of the extras that are showcased here before going through to your project overview to view your entire kit list here.